I'd absolutely forgotten about this record. Boy, it was a frantic dance record, very fast. I just listened to it again on YouTube. I gotta tell you, this is the first time I've heard this record about, well, it's 2017, about 32 years. Gosh. Well, at number 28 on my fancy playlist, uh, Elton John and Millie Jackson, soul singer Millie Jackson with Act of War, and in 1985. And of course, it was kind of a Cold War situation. The Cold War got a little bit colder for a while with Reagan in office. You might remember Sting did a song called "The Russians." Remember that back in 1986? Well, Act of War by Elton John and Millie Jackson. Millie Jackson, she started her singing career on a dare. Supposedly, legend has it that somebody said, I dare you to participate in this talent contest. Talent contest that was held in Harlem. It was at a club called Small Paradise. Millie Jackson, she got into that talent contest, and guess what? She won. 1964, that's legend. She's not very well known to the pop audience. She did have a number of soul hits in the 70s going to the 80s. My Man, My Sweet Man, that was in 1972, I think. It Hurt So Good, that was in 73. And she also did a hit, it was not a hit on the pop charts, but on R&B. She was very successful covering Luther Ingram's If Loving You Is Wrong, I Don't Want to Be Right. And she's on this song with Elton John. Elton John, the album Ice on Fire. This song was a bonus track on the album Ice on Fire, Elton John's 19th album. Gosh, dog it. Elton John was just absolutely prolific in the 70s and 80s. Well, not as prolific in the 80s, but still, he was up there. Ice on Fire, you might remember the big hit off the album was Nikita, 1986. And that was a video where he was involved with a girl who was involved with a Russian soldier or something like that. That was a nice video. But Wrap Her Up, anybody remember Wrap Her Up? That was in the fall of '85. And that was another song off that album by Elton John, but a lost Elton John classic. If you're a big Elton John fan, you never heard of Wrap Her Up, you might want to give it a listen to. You might want to give this song a listen to as well. Act of War by Elton John and Millie Jackson. A couple little trivia things about Elton John I want to share it with you, and then I'll let this video go. Elton John, he's got a single, and I'm sure you can guess what the single is. The song is that is the best-selling single of all UK and US history as far as the singles history is concerned. Candle in the Wind, the 1997 version, his tribute to Princess Diana. Diana. That song had sold 33 million copies. 33 million copies around the world. Early in his career, Elton John writing songs with Bernie Taupin, Toupin. God, they wrote some great songs together in the early 70s. Rocket Man, Honky Chateau. Bernie Taupin, he wrote the lyrics, and Elton John wrote the music. But Elton John, I just found this out. Remember the song by the Hollies, He Ain't Heavy? He's My Brother, came out back in 1969, 1970. Might have been about around early 1970. Well, Elton John played piano on that record by the Hollies. Boy, they're throwing down on this record, though. Millie Jackson adding her soulful vibes to this record. Elton John and Millie Jackson, a lost 45 indeed. Act of War at number 28 on my fantasy playlist, August 10th, 1985.